Hi YouTube friends, it's Caroline. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel today for this Hurt Foot foam rolling video. This video is designed to help you through the process of recovering from a foot or lower leg injury. I personally know how incredibly hard dealing with a foot injury can be. I have been healing from a sesamoid fracture for the past 9 months, and I've found really creative ways to keep my body moving and keep my mind and spirit fit and positive. So I really want to share those with you. The one thing that I noticed when I was recovering from a foot injury is that my body had all sorts of weird aches and pains everywhere from moving around awkwardly because I was in the boot or in crutches. So this video is designed to help alleviate some of the tightness and tension that happens in your body when you're awkwardly hobbling around in a boot, when you've got crutches. It's helping to lengthen and soothe the tight muscles that come from moving around while you're injured. What you'll need to do this video is first your doctor's approval or your physical therapist's approval. It might be helpful to just watch the video all the way through to make sure to eliminate any exercises that potentially might not be right for you. You'll also need a black long foam roller, and I'll put the link below where you can purchase this. You'll also need a yoga tune-up therapy ball. You don't necessarily need a yoga tune-up therapy ball, but I find they're the best because they're grippy and they stick to your skin. And of course, I'll include the link in the description below as well on where you can get these. So we'll start today with the foam roller. So I want you to grab your foam roller and lay out on your mat. Now again, if anything hurts or puts your injury at jeopardy, stop, be smart, and wait until there's an exercise that you feel better about. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is lay on our foam roller with the foam roller behind your lower back. And I just want you to take your hands behind your head like you're on the beach. And already you'll probably be like, woo, this really works. And you're just going to, without putting any pressure on your foot, and of course you can wear your boot while you're doing this too, pull forward and lower back. So I used to do this while wearing my boot when I couldn't have any weight bearing on the injury. You can definitely still do it in a boot and it does not hurt, especially when you're wearing that awkward thing. So right now we're rolling through the spine and the upper back, which often becomes really tight and tense, especially if you're on crutches, so I want you to think about that. And if you can use your heels a bit to push and pull, that will really help. The areas I most noticed that I was really sore from moving around in the boot were my hips because they were off level, my quads and hip flexors because I was kind of hobbling like Frankenstein, and my upper body. So we'll address those things today. All right, slowly bring the roller to your armpit, and I want you to roll safely towards me. So right now the roller is underneath my armpit, and I'm going to extend my bottom arm down long onto the mat. And all I want you to do is roll your lats. So foam rolling is awkward. You kind of just have to get used to the fact that it's weird that you're rolling around on a piece of foam. But what I want you to feel is a stretch on the side of your body. So if you've been using crutches to get around with your ankle injury or foot injury, then this will probably help alleviate some of that tightness you're experiencing in the lat muscle. Now, if you can't push and pull back and forward, you can always just take the roller and move it back to adjust. So sometimes you don't need to roll around. You can just apply what I call sustained compression. So right now I'm just applying tension against the muscle and feeling that pressure relieve the tightness. If your neck's a little bit tight, you can support it with that bottom hand. And let's try this together. So you'll come to this position with your hand underneath your head, and I want you to roll forward and back. Now, if the roller's not in the right spot, you can move it a little uptown or downtown and find something that works for you. Now, I have to admit, rolling is not particularly comfortable, and you might feel actually uncomfortable right now because there's a lot of tightness in the muscle that's a little bit cranky and sore with you. But hopefully, after finishing this video, you feel relief, release, ease of movement, larger range of motion. You feel lighter in your body because you spent time to address the tightness in the adhesions of the muscle tissue that were causing all this pain. Good. So I want you to keep rolling forward and back, and also please breathe. This feels really nice. Okay, so from there, I'm going to switch other side, and I'll turn so I can face you. So we'll come to the other side, and you can just roll other side on the video. Carefully, we'll start with that lat. So you're just going to roll all the way down the side of your body. So on that roller, rolling up and down, feeling length on the whole side of the body. Now, when I was initially injured during the first couple months, I did a lot of foam rolling to take care of the soreness that I was experiencing from awkwardly moving around my life. So I want to acknowledge that I'm really grateful you're here today and taking care of yourself so you can feel better. So again, if you can't move, you can move the roller up and down. That's really nice. Not particularly nice feeling, but nice afterwards. It's one of those things. And if you need to, you can use the bottom hand and softly roll forward and back. Oh, this was one of my favorite things to do also when I started swimming a lot, when I was approved to get into the pool. I was doing a lot of swimming and a lot of freestyle, so my lats naturally got really sore. That happens. So keep breathing. Try to just give love to those muscles. You might notice too that one side is more tight than the other side. That's normal. So it's good to pay attention to those things so that they don't become problems later down the road, but don't be freaked out if one side is really tight and the other one isn't. Maybe you do things more on one side, or maybe your injury's on one side, so you've been compensating, and that happens. Good. Okay, we are done with this side. So next what I want you to do is what I call the hip flexor stretch on the roller. This is brilliant when you're walking around in a boot. So you're going to put the roller on their sacrum, and your sacrum is right on the back of your tailbone. So what you'll do is carefully come down, bring the roller about to your lower back, and you'll slowly lay down, and then you can push the roller to the tailbone. Be careful with this one. Be very mindful of your injury. So from here, I'm just going to lengthen one leg down towards the floor, and I should feel a nice long stretch through the front of the thigh, the quad, and the hip flexor. You gotta let me know if you feel that. I want you to keep your stomach in, and gently, if you'd like to, you can bring the opposite leg in towards the chest. Now again, this stretch is great when you're moving around in a boot or in crutches because your quads are doing a lot of work and your hip flexors are doing a lot of work. So we want to lengthen them without putting any weight on that injury. And this should work pretty well. So I want you to find your breath and take a deep inhale and a long exhale. That feels really, really good. So from here, what you'll do, this one's a little complicated, but I know you can figure it out. You're going to take this bent knee, and it's going to cross the roller, and you'll grab the opposite side of the roller to twist through the spine and the hip. Now you should feel a stretch on the back of your hip, through your lower back and side, and you'll also feel the foam roller push up against the upper hip muscles. And if you've been doing my other hurt foot workout videos on YouTube, those might be a little sore, so it feels pretty good. Now I want you to think about stretching through the whole body. Deep breath, inhale, and long breath out. Nice job. Let's try those things on the other side. So you'll slowly come back to center, lengthen the bent leg down, bend the other leg in, and again, you'll feel that hip flexor stretch on the straight leg. And you don't have to bend this leg in. You can keep it down on the ground if that is a little too aggressive for you. So again, take this with a grain of salt. Make it work for you. Make it feel good to your body because I'm here to help you feel good. Okay, try that deep breath. Inhale. Long breath out. Exhale. Simply breathing can be very healing. Let's take that knee, grab hold of the roller for leverage, twist. So I also felt a lot of soreness and tightness in my hips because, again, walking around the boot, very awkward, and your hips just get all sorts of out of whack. So we'll be doing some things to help those. So I want you to keep breathing for me. Feel that twist. You're doing great. And then slowly come back to center. Now you're going to lengthen the leg off, and I want you to carefully move your body so that the roller now rests into your lower back. You'll bring your feet into a butterfly position, and again, if this puts any pressure on your injury, maybe keep your legs neutral or skip this exercise entirely. But we're going to slowly roll the lower back by tilting the knees to one side and then shifting the legs to the other side. So you could do this while wearing your boot, and in fact I've experimented and done this boot on and boot off. I'm lucky in that for today I don't have to wear the boot, so I'm demonstrating without it, but if you need to wear it, of course wear it. And be smart. Just be the best hurt foot patient there ever was. Like, do everything right so you can get better fast. Good. Let's do one or two more. Side to side. You should really feel this. It lengthens the whole spine. It's also incredibly relaxing. Okay, last one. And relax. So carefully find your way, and you might just have to like awkwardly roll to the side and push up. But we're going to get into your quads next, which take a huge hit when you're walking around in a boot. And you'll come to your mat to bring the roller on the front of the thighs with your forearms down. Now, you may have to adjust the roller with your hands, and that's totally okay. But you lift your legs off the floor, and using your stomach muscles, you're just going to roll forward and back. Now, if you have the ability to bend your legs, that's going to increase the stretch and the pressure that you feel in your quads. And with some of my clients, I'll have them just stay and bend one leg at a time as opposed to rolling, because if the rolling is too much for you today, or you're tired, or let's face it, your quads are really tight, then you know what, you can just hold and do a little bit of what I call pin and stretch, pinning the muscle and adding a movement that stretches the muscle and helps you do a little bit of foam rolling. So I want you to play around with those two techniques and just see, ask your body, what works for it? This one is really working for me, let me tell you. Now, what we can do, because right now your feet and your ankles are elevated, we can roll the inner thighs by turning the legs outward, kind of like a plie position, so toes out, heels in. Use the stomach. And you can also roll the IT bands a little bit more if you were to turn the legs in, like a pigeon toe. So if you try out those techniques and see, wow, when I turn my toes in, I feel a lot of tension in my legs that needs to be addressed, by all means, do that often. Now, this video is safe to do daily, especially if you're coming back from a hurt foot, but of course, always listen to your body and do what you need to heal fast. What's important is you get better, and I want to help you do that. All right, now safely, we're going to come out of this. So I want you to slowly find your way, and be careful, and we'll move the roller out of the way, and I want you to grab one of your balls. So I brought two different sizes just to show for the video. This is the alpha ball. It's awesome. It's great for the lower back and the hips. This is a little bit smaller. It's the plus size, so I'm going to show you with both today. So first, we're going to put the alpha right into the top of the hip, and it's a muscle called the TFL. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. I want you to feel it. So we're going to bring the ball carefully to the side of the thigh with our forearms on the floor. Now, do what you need to do to make sure your injury isn't at risk here. So all I'm going to do is get into my hip flexor and top of hip, and I'm just going to lift my shirt and show you, kind of see it on the camera there, that I'm rolling the front hip flexor thigh area. And all I'm doing is just moving my leg side to side slightly. This is a very intense technique. So if it's too much for you today, you know what, maybe skip this one and wait until you feel like it might be right for you. You can also put your head down. Oh, that's nice. If it's too much to be up on your forearms. But you should try and get the tightness in your hip flexor. Now what we can do is take the ball a little bit further up, oh yeah, and get into the hip flexor muscle. So you don't even need to roll. you could just put the ball there and hang out. And this is great if you've been sitting a lot, doing chair workouts, if you've been in the boot. I really know how you feel. I had to take care of all that tightness and tension myself. So, my friend, I really hope this helps you. So you can just hold and hang out and breathe. For the sake of this video, I'm going to show both sides so you can see both angles. But if you need to stay on one side longer, please stay as long as you need, okay? So gently, I'm just going to use my arms, push up, and I'll show you on this side. So I put the ball, it's kind of like diagonal on the thigh, and I'm just going to lift and kind of do a little bit of a wag of my foot. So kind of like a, a dog wagging its tail. Very nice to see you. And I'm going to breathe. And think positive thoughts. Remember, positive thoughts send a lot of love to your muscles as well, because your body hears everything your mind says. So keep this positive. It's going to help you in the healing process. You can just hold and extend and release. This is really nice. Oh gosh. Breathing is good. And then you can also go into the hip flexor. So if you wanted, you would just bring the ball up a little bit higher. And for this one, I actually do like to lay all the way down because it's a lot to be up on my arms. And just side to side. Now again, if you don't have the yoga balls, a tennis ball would work. Lacrosse ball is a little too hard, so I'd be really careful with that. Probably not a good choice. The yoga tune-up balls are cheap. I think the alpha ball is $16, steel. And you can even bring it with you anywhere to like address the tightness and tension in your body. So we've got one, let's do two more things today. Two more things. So I want you to slowly come up, and you can choose either size of the ball, so small or big, and we're going to get into your hips. So for this, because you're coming back from an injury, it's probably better to start on your back. You'll take your ball to your bun, put it on your butt cheek, and you can start with the knees up and gently, slowly roll side to side, really getting into the tightness and tension of the hip. This one, if you haven't done a lot of foam rolling, if you're trying this technique for the first time, this might be really brutal. So I hope that, it helps you feel better. If it's too much for today, stop, or maybe try this technique against the wall as long as it's not putting any weight or pressure on your injury. So if you notice, I've taken my knee out to the side to get to a different spot in my hip, and I'm just gently rocking my pelvis side to side to relieve some of the tightness and tension all over the butt that come from too much sitting, all sorts of weird movement patterns from the boot. Ugh, it's no fun. So we're going to do both sides. So I want you to switch sides carefully, don't hurt the injury, ball on the bun, and again, you can just start here, side to side, swishing the hips like, you're dancing or playing the air guitar. It's awkward, so definitely doing this in the privacy of your own home is probably preferred over the gym. And then you can hold as opposed to rolling if you just want to hang out in a spot and not go anywhere. Sometimes all you do is just put pressure on a tight muscle, take a few deep breaths, and it feels better. One of my favorite clients, she'll complain about inner thigh pain, and we'll do a minute of the rolling, and every time she'll say, "Wow, I feel so much better." And she's always so surprised that even a minute to 2 minutes of simple rolling can alleviate some of that tightness she's experiencing and increase her ability to feel good in her body, which is awesome. So for our last technique for this video today, we're just going to take the ball, and the ball is going to cross your lower back gently. So you can use any size ball that works for you. The bigger one is a little more forgiving. And I'm just going to place the ball on my lower back, and I'm going to swish my hips side to side, letting the ball really get into some of the tightness that I might be feeling in the lower back. And I'm doing this gently, so please be smart. Don't go crazy. It's always good to, try this lightly first, see how your body responds, and then if it's something that helps you feel better, return to this video and keep it in your back pocket for when you need a little TLC. So I want you to breathe, think positive thoughts, good, and relax. So gently move the ball away from the body and slowly turn to one side. And I just want you to notice how you feel. We addressed tightness and tension in the front of the thighs, in the hip flexors, in the hips, in the lats, in the upper back, and hopefully in the lower back. That will help you feel better, longer, looser, and lighter as you recover from this injury. Let me know in the comments below how you feel after trying this video. And if you liked it, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, and share it with all of your friends. I'm here to help you live your very best life inside and out. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again soon at CarolineJordanFitness.com.